What is up, beautiful people? Johnny Lee Montrose Photo Video here, and this is just a short little video that goes along with a blog post article over on the website, so there'll be a link to that below. Check it out. But let's get into it. Alright, so right now we're going to talk about some of the most common mistakes that I see all the time when I see real estate listings. Let's get into a few of them. Number one, walls are supposed to be vertical. Floors are supposed to be horizontal. So often, people don't bother to get their camera straight and they tilt things. Or they're using a wide-angle lens and they don't have it pointed straight, so you end up with a warping around the edge. Now, to a certain extent, you can't always get away from it entirely. But for the most part, it can be either mitigated, limited, or completely removed by knowing what you're doing, and of course a little bit of work in post just to brush it up a touch. Number two, too tight of a field of view. This I see all the time, and it's because people are shooting on little tiny cameras or on their phones and they don't have a real wide angle lens on them. So you can only see just a little bit of the room at a time. Now, you're always going to be limited by what equipment you have as far as angles and how much space you have. But you really should try to get at least 2 walls, if not 3 walls, in each frame, so you get a real feel of the space. Number 3, I'm going to say, is lighting color, or white balance. A lot of lighting in your homes, you're going to have mixed light. You're going to have white light from windows, which there's a curtain over there and it's flapping in the wind. I don't know if you can notice all the light flashing. But anyhow, you're going to have white daylight from outdoors. A lot of times you're going to have incandescent or warmer light bulbs inside the house. And you have to pick what you want in your scene. Sometimes you want the yellow lights to appear sort of yellow, to appear amber, and really give a little bit of an ambiance. Sometimes you don't want that at all. You just want the space to look well lit. So you really need to set your white balance according to what you're trying to accomplish. Alright, we're on to number 4, which I'm going to call lack of apparent light. This means that the scene is not lit well enough for the camera settings. A lot of times with cheaper cameras, you can't really dial it in. It's not sitting on a tripod. You can't get a long shot to make up for the low light. So what happens is you either get really, really grainy photos, really dark photos, photos that just don't look their best. And I see this all the time because the inside of houses are not lit with photography in mind. They're lit with living in mind. It's one of those things that if you know how to use your camera, you can technically correct for it. But a lot of people are just run and gun, get it done, and that's one of the big mistakes I see all the time. The last point I'm going to cover is what I call just lack of coverage. Lack of coverage is a big problem. I like to see, if possible, 3 angles of every room, so that when I'm looking at these photos, I feel like I know what that room looks like. Same with the outside. I want to see every side of the building. I want to see, if possible, the property in the surrounding area. I want to know what this property looks like before I ever schedule a showing. And that can be really useful for buyers, especially if they're coming from out of town. They know ahead of time that's the property they definitely want to look at. Alrighty, so that is my 5, I believe that was 5, basic problems that I see all the time with real estate photography. If there are others that drive you crazy, let me know in the comments. I'd appreciate it. Until then, this has been Johnny Lee with the Montrose Photo Video. Have a nice day.